My name's Leah Marrett and I'm Senior Research Scientist in Animal Production Sciences at Agriculture Victoria. The research we do here aims to identify profitable ways dairy farmers and the industry can reduce the negative impacts of hot weather with a focus on animal nutrition and welfare. We call it the Feeding Cool Cows project. The changing climate is a growing challenge for the dairy industry, and with projections of hotter and drier conditions in the future, this research seeks to support dairy farmers with the right information to ensure ongoing animal welfare, productivity and profitability. The focus of the research is the development of cost-effective, nutritional-based summer feeding strategies that will contribute to a reduction in the negative impact of hot weather on dairy farm productivity. The focus is on whole-of-summer strategies rather than tactical short-term decisions for single heat events. We know that shade, cool water and genomics can reduce the negative effects of hot weather on dairy cow production. The Feeding Cool Cows project aims to develop strategies to offset reduction in feed intake by identifying ingredients that help cows maintain intake and milk production. In order to do this, we need to offer feeds that keep the cow's body temperature in check. Over the past 2 years, we've been working with partner farmers across Australia to better understand the regional differences in milk yield responses to hot weather and how the duration and severity of hot weather influences milk yield. Key results so far from cow-level experiments have highlighted the influence between cow variation. And while there's definitely gains we can make by manipulating the summer diet of dairy cows, the genetics of the animal may have more influence than previously thought. While responses to varying concentrate feeds were found, outcomes will be determined by cow factors and the location and climate of the individual farm. For example, feeding corn grain to cows during hot weather can improve forage intake and milk production, but the cost of corn does not always result in a net financial benefit. Feeding betaine, a substance that's involved in maintaining cellular water balance and liver function, results in lower body temperatures and aids in maintenance of dry matter intake. Given the low cost of such a supplement, this strategy was profitable under most scenarios we tested. Feeding fat can improve milk production, but it also increases body temperature, and prolonged periods of elevated body temperature can lead to further reductions in milk production. Rumen stable fats are another option. These are fats with a high proportion of saturated fatty acids, and they may be useful in minimising body temperature rises. These more stable fats may have better outcomes when forage quality is low. This is important because the most appropriate heat stress mitigation measures are likely to differ between regions that have different weather characteristics during summer. Key results so far from plant experiments tell us that forages with low NDF concentration or low fibre, high quality forages such as chicory are useful to improve milk production, dry matter intake and minimise the increase in body temperature of cows during heat events. Cows offered a low NDF hay ate more and produced more milk than cows offered a high NDF hay. Our key messages to take away at this stage of the research that an adequate intake of high-quality protein source, for example canola meal or lupins, can result in increased milk yield before and after a heat event, with no negative impact during the heat exposure period, and that a diet with lower total NDF concentration results in lower body temperature. The endpoint is to minimise the impact of heat stress with a whole-of-farm system with inputs that are well supported by science. There are a number of outcomes that dairy farmers can now start to think about for their farm systems to manage herds and mitigate the negative impacts of hot weather. Cooling infrastructure, such as providing shade, is of course one of the most important factors in reducing the heat load on cows. Providing a high quality forage source during summer with adequate protein intake to maximise production will also help keep body temperature as low as possible. Betaine has been found to be useful to mitigate the negative impact of hot weather and can be profitable under many scenarios. While corn is a common and readily available concentrate feed during hot weather, the cost of corn often outweighs the benefits due to the impact on profitability and is best used in areas of chronic heat, not short, sharp heat events. If you are interested in finding out more about the Feeding Cool Cows project or other dairy feed-based research projects and how you can implement these within your business, I encourage you to get in touch with your regional development team at DA.